live and direct on YouTube. Boom! With Midas. How are you, my brother?
Fine, thank you, my brother. And I want to say happy day to the conscious listeners in our reasoning sessions.
Yeah,
Very glad that they can participate. It is where one or few is in conversation with reality, love, and spirituality. That's where I and I stand. So give thanks.
yeah. I give thanks also. That's what I was listening in the song today. The guy was saying, "I face reality, but lonely." Like I was like, "Wow, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about." Now, when it comes to reality, first of all, I think it's more the first reality we should face is the reality of our being. Like we are here to do something, not especially to boast yourself with all kinds of stuff, but you got some life work to do, and that's what is important to get done. And that's what I have put in motion at one point. It can, it can take time to for the truth to come out. Also, the truth is not gonna come out of you overnight. So for my part, took like 40 years before I really start to cognize my thoughts and everything. And that's the part we're gonna start with. It's the cognizance part of our being. Like this is in the key component of truth that we were talking last hangout with Midas. And it's a cognizance, coherency, foresight, accuracy plus honesty with tolerance. That's what I see as the key component of truth. And the first one we're gonna start analyzing together, and the reason on it is the cognizance part, because this is a part that might be completely absent. That's why I use the word cognizance, because it's not a recognizance, it's not a recognition, reconnection, or re something. It's just we have to cognize with our being, with our original being. That's the way I see it. Is more like, when you say, "Oh, I recognize that person," it's because you remember you've seen that person before. Like you recognize them. Oh, yeah. So I think the cognizance part is more to kind of, I call your higher being within yourself. And I use I call because that's the word that Erasmidas gave me before. It's not a remembrance. I don't like the word remember also. It's more than like a cognizance of our. And I say here, that's what we're going to extend on. Cognizance is the optimal key for perceiving truth. If you want to enrich your life, you have to perceive it positively. Figuring out where you stand will help you to up for what changes you'd like to make. So, Rasmidas, I'm going to let you extend on it and give me your point of view on the cognizance part of our being. Like it's kind of important.
Yeah, yes. I'm not taking away from your words there, but in my way, I call it I call or recall, you know? So it's when you come to that stage in your vitality that you started to look within yourself and to recognize that you need to make changes. And that is the greatest aspect that you can ever discover. When you discover that you're not moving or grooving in the positive way that you would like to, then it is good for us to take time out to stop and look on the aspect of life and to see if the life that we are participating in is really what we really want. So you take time to recall or I call the positive and the possibility that you recognize to go through yourself to make the necessary changes that you can face the reality that you are going through, to know that you're a mature person now, and what you expect on the fast lane is not what you're really achieving. So it's time for you to slow it down and take a proper look into your mental cup to see where you can plant some fruits of vitality to help you uplift yourself in a positive way.
Yeah, because it's the essence, and it's to uplift and constantly uplift to reach your, if you want to call it, your higher self. But I think there's something just more vibrant. When I say higher self, is maybe the more vibrant you, more not connected, but more in tune with who you are, and then you're capable to express it to the world. It's even better. Like you can, but it's a discovery that happened slowly. I think we should not rush it because I don't think it's really totally you that is in control of that awakening, if you want to call it. I think there's higher forces also at work to help you perceive, or to, I don't know, me. It's something I feel like the wind. It's invisible, but I feel it. The wind, like it's a major force, but no one sees it. Everyone feel it. So there is forces at work, and that might maybe inspire us or help us perceive our significance here, or the magnificence that we should have as human being, not just being evil and negative. For me, evil is negative, is anything that is detrimental to your being, to uplift and to that's pretty much the evil part, because it's not there's no beings with corn or whatever you want to call it. I think it's all in our brain, and that's what we have to kind of save ourselves from ourselves, like we said the last time. It's people say trust in you, trust in, like that's it. I think we should trust in higher forces. I don't want to use the word God, because sometimes God, Joe, whatever, it can, but higher forces, there is forces at work, and once you attach to that, great chance you're going to cognize with your original being again. My original being is not much different than your original being, and than anyone original state. It's just we've been taught to hate and to all kinds of negativity, and fall in traps. Also, fall in traps. Like it's very hard to cognize with your higher being if you're constant. If you put chains, not just chain around your neck, but chain like invisible chain, and you're stuck in a cage. Like you got to break free from that invisible cage, that baby state, and then you start exploring the world and see the beauty around, and especially other beings that are aligned on maybe not the same mindset and totally the same thinking, but at least you can have acquaintance with others much easier when they're on the same similar level of thinking. Yeah, it makes it easier to also to cognize with other persons, and yeah, I think it's important. The cognizance part here, that's why I say cognizance is vital for personal growth, because we react to what we perceive to be true. Yeah. Facing the truth of your occurrences causes you to trigger a new point of view. When you step on the scale and see that that you weigh more than you'd like, you think, I want to lose weight. Me, that's always that. If I jump on the scale, I see, oh, I have to lose. And then everybody's like that, is just to do it. When you get clear about what you don't want, you gain coherency about what you do want. That's the thing. These new insights can help you drive you on a positive route, but nothing will change until you first admit that you need to change. And that is the great part, is the change. That's what you were talking about before, Midas, right?
Yes, let us touch on this subject.
Yeah.
Your higher self is your spirituality. And spirituality is the reality about yourself. So when you're tapping into your real self, you can recognize or to get the understanding of who you really are and why you're really here. And we must remember that God is a, is is a concept. People must recognize that the God story is a concept, and most people love to go and hide behind that concept when they don't want to confront their own self. Just like devilism or satanism is a concept, is two mountain that people used to go and hide themselves behind. But if you can come out from behind those mountains of concept and look into yourself, the ideals of reality within your spirituality, to recognize who you really is and to tap into that awakening, because the awakening is to let you know, I realize that there is more to religion or more to politics within yourself, to know how important you are if you spiritually awake from your sleep and slumber and touch the higher chords of the universe. Because the concept of God or Satanism don't have nothing to do with the universe. Is man create the concept of God and Satanism so that they themselves can go behind that mountain to hide and say, I am not responsible for what I have done, whether it's good or whether it's bad. They run behind the mountain of Satanism and say, oh, is he tell me to do it? But is you telling your own self to do it? Because what you perceive within yourself is what you're going to perceive outside. I know that plenty religious people are people that no matter what religion you want to come from, they are not going to accept these facts because they were taught from a child that they must not take responsibility for themselves. All they have to do is go to God or go to the devil or whatever it may be, and somebody will take care of your negative works that you have been doing over the years. But when you take responsibility for the works that you have done, whether it's negative or positive, you come to the realization that you is the only person can forgive yourself so that you can clean up your cup, your vitality to tread a new path in a positive way.
And I think the direct effect of all this is that the fear drops and love arises in your heart. For me, that's what it did. It's just I'm not a different person. It's just I've let go. I dropped my fears and my insecurities, and I decided to take life by the collar and start to hang on to love instead of fear and nonsense. And so it's mostly what happened within you is that you start to be the love being that you're supposed to be here. And I'm not saying I don't cause no more chaos and destruction around me. I still do because of my nonsense program mind. Sometimes I have reactions to beings telling me things, and like, for example, my wife, sometimes she says things and I still react. I catch myself reacting or causing chaos or just because of my mouth. So I have to watch that, but I'm working on it. And the more the love will arise and the less chaos I think we can experience with our life in general, not just with the people you live with, but everyone around and the animals and everything.
We all is deprogramming ourselves from the teaching of the system. And that is when you discover who you really is or who you really are. And so every man works is their own burden. Every man word is their own burden. There's no special Holy Ghost or entity from outer space is going to take up your burden. In the religious form, they say sinners, right? But if they feel that they have been sinned, I don't know, I'm just speaking for religious people. You're responsible for your own doings. There is no one in outer space or any concept is going to take responsibility. Because, put it this way, if you commit a crime, is mankind is going to judge you. And you're going to be judged by the crime you committed. And you have to take responsibility for the crime one way or the other. And that's reality of life. And that is why a small group of us around the world is learning to take responsibility for our own doing, because we realize that whatever we done is our own burden, and we have to learn to shake off that burden from our mind or our doings.
But there's also the vitality, like you said, that we think we're gonna live 1,000 years, and we put the blame on others, and so that kind of vitality gonna limit you to advance where you're supposed to go in life too. If you think you're invincible and you don't have to take responsibility for your action and stuff, yeah, that's this kind of mindset that can hinder your journey.
If you don't take responsibility for it, your children will pay the consequence, because things move on from one generation onto a next generation. That's why I was telling you that I don't really deal with the concept of death, because everything within life is a reproduction, a recreation of itself. It's only if you want to put a stoppage to your creative creation or reproducing yourself. So in that way, whenever we do anything on the negative side, is the younger generation is going to bear the consequence, because nothing don't change. The laws of nature never change to suit no one or to please anyone. You have to live in accordance with the laws of nature. You cannot run away, you cannot get away, and no one is going to take responsibility for your sins, or no one is going to take responsibility for the positive things you do. Is you have to take responsibility for those things, because those are your works.
And it's kind of important also because it's not stuff that is taught to us really, in school or things like that, to take responsibility for your life. They want you to be a good worker, and that's about it. Go work in the factory, and so it's a very much a good work on yourself you have to do always. I'm very very conscious of that. It's like I say here, the illusion of knowing your being plus pretending everything is okay is a tragedy. And that's the tragedy for most, is that we're stuck in an illusion of knowing who we are, knowing our being, knowing what to do here. We even pretend we know how to live when we don't know. We don't even know how to go to the toilet. We use anyway. I'm not gonna start talking about poo again. I've done it before here, but there's a lot of things we pretend to know what to do with our life and how to behave. And look at us. Sometimes I go around and you should see what qualificative I use for certain beings, but we're becoming very very much stuck in an illusion of knowing and pretending that everything is okay. So we're all going around saying everything is okay when the world is going to shit and people are suffering, and the pollution and the look. I don't buy everything I see, but I can surely know that it's polluted, and yeah, sometimes we have tendency to blow up these things out of proportion, but this is very true that the earth needs our help and needs our help fast. So we should very much cognize, wake up. Cognize, you can use the word cognize as waking up also. Cognizing is a lot waking up. The nearest you'll get to being perfect will be to enjoy the journey of lifelong growth, including all life's temporary flaws. So that's the closest you can get to perfection. That's what I say here. It's easy for me to say that you should face the truth of your life, but in practice, it can be very tough to do. It's hard to admit that you've become bored with your acquaintances. It's hard to look at yourself in the mirror to perceive that you don't like the person you've become, that you're overweight or this or that. And, at one point, you just avoid your person. You don't even want to look in the mirror. And that's, every time we look at ourselves in the mirror, we should be very proud, very like positive. But most don't even look in mirrors. That's it, because they're afraid of what they're going to see or something like that. But yeah, you can get from point A to point B if you stubbornly you refuse to perceive that you are at point A. Denying A, fighting of A only keeps you stuck at point A. You have to acknowledge what's going on. And for me, that was a big facets of change, was to acknowledge my being. Like, when I started, it's not that I see myself very like the world doesn't revolve around me. No? I don't think that Tru-Mon comes here thinking that the world revolves around him. No? It's not the case at all. I'm just one being on Earth. But I've decided to start maybe not connecting, but have better relation with others, and that's it. And start. It's a good starting point. If you see that if you don't refuse the point A, you'll move to other points. You'll move further for sure. So yeah. So what would you energize if you have the chance? You also sometimes it's what we energize. We energize a lot of secondary activities and nonsense, distraction, and stuff like that. So we have to be very, I think, yeah, here and now to perceive this kind of stuff, right?
Yes, that is very true. Because the problem is that people have been programmed to move away from being humans, beings. They program away from their beings and they become people. And so when you become people, you could change that word as sheeple. You become a follower. And everybody in name lifestyle. Everybody have to glue themselves or be a member of the lifestyle. And so people people do not have any chance to examine themselves because they are programmed, whether by religious establishment or political establishment or social establishment or lifestyle establishment, and no one is taking the time to examine themselves and their doings. So they are caught up in the illusion and the imagination, what other people perceive to them to be fact, when they are not living fact. You know, they are just living, grazing like animals in a pasture where they find, then they know that there's no grass is there, but they're grazing on the dirt pretending that grass is there. And so they leave thirsty for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to be themselves. And not until there is the necessary change within mankind self, because I cannot tell I want to change. They have to look within themselves and find out the life direction or the direction they want to go. It's up to that individual. But if we can come together in harmony to recognize that I and I is better than what we are perceiving, or the imaginary line of, they would call it mental evolution, which they're not teaching that part in the educational system, because the educational system is the fruit of the system, and it's a bad fruit with lots of worm. And so when the worm is working in your vitality, which is your brain, or your consciousness, then you're easily led away, and you continue to be a follower.
There's also a state, I think, that we're all in. It's that I think it's before the whole cognizance and all that. It's the baby state. Like what I see often is adult playing with toys. Like we have been playing with toys. Like the other day, I passed by a daycare and I look at the toys. It's all plastic and like a little plastic village toys and stuff. And I look at the man, like grown up men, and they still play with toys. Like most people need toys and edutainment and entertainment and stuff. So it's very hard if you're stuck in a baby state playing with toys all your life to cognize your being to a higher state of thoughts. Though. I don't know, some thinking of something else than playing with toys and stuff. So I
Well,
think there is,
well,
huh?
well, toys is the beginning of manipulation, you know,
Yeah.
because it's toys they use to manipulate the baby first, and this fantasy, you know. So you have to remember that they use toy to program people when you're young, from you as a child coming up. It's part of the program mechanism. So some adults do not evaporate themselves from that part of learning. They feel that they need toys to comfort their ego. So that's how it goes.
No, it's very much that. In that you can notice it everywhere. The other part of the that key number 17, which is currency of true facts. That's how I named it. It's the foresight. Okay, foresight is very important. It's like your vision. Like I could have used all kinds of words, but I prefer like foresight. I like it because vision. Like all the jeunes, I don't know why they kind of do a weird
But
resonance in my
excuse
head.
me, excuse me. That is what vision is. Foresight is vision, and vision is foresight.
But I prefer use foresight.
Well, okay, well, if people understand what the word foresight mean, then it's cool.
That's it. But I think it's a word that is used also. I've heard it before, but yeah, foresight. I think it's Will, my brother, Will of Earth. We have done some kind of review together, and I think that's him says, it's better foresight. So yeah, foresight is better.
It's when you recognize something before it really occur in reality.
Yeah,
But
I
it's reality already, but it's just to recognize it, to accept it, to see it come to fulfillment.
Yeah, how did what's the word? I had another word before for that, but I don't remember. I've done so many correction in this book, changed so many. I worked hard in there. So there are two powerful ways by worked hard. It's my head that works more than anything. It's not it's the brain muscle. Yeah, yeah. So there are two powerful ways you can apply your mind's powers of foresight to gain momentum with your personal growth. It's embracing new challenges that are unlike anything you have previously encountered. Then you will add intelligence. You know, new occurrences shift your will into learning mode. This is very important that permits you to uncover new facets of life. The more your mind observes to introspect, you will improve owning of your foresight then becoming coherent. Like this is the foresight part is optimal in there. And if you cannot like you, but some beings don't even have foresight for what they're gonna eat for lunch, or they don't have a vision for like they can decide, they don't have vision. So it's very important to practice that. You don't become a very ninja foresight kind of guy or girl overnight, but you by practicing anything you practice can improve. So yeah, if you practice your foresight, not skills but abilities, you can make
It, it happens naturally if you just give space and time within yourself.
it. Yeah.
You have to meditate spiritually and consciously, and you will learn from your inner power or your inner self that you can recognize things that is there long time ago, but you just recognize it. But most people is caught up in the social order of the system and not giving themselves any time because they believe in the system, that the system will give them the refuge that they need for the everyday living, and
Yep.
that is some of the problem.
Even the believing of the system, yeah, we're caught up in belief and stuff, but I think we're very ignorant also that of our being, of everything that surrounds us, of like we don't question pretty much anything about life. We just go on like drone robots. I was like that till the age of 40 years old. That's how my life sound like before. I wasn't really thinking for myself. I was accepting pretty much all the stuff you see on TV, wherever you see it, and you make it reality because I don't know, you don't have the desire to think or to have coherency of true facts. So no, but that wasn't never really on my radar until a tragedy also happened to me, and I kind of had time on my hand, plenty of time to just think, and what am I gonna do? So at one point, I just sat for 2 3 days straight alone in my office, just thinking. What am I gonna do with my life after my knee tragedy? So I was like, okay. So that brought me to think, to think. The tragedy, sometime having a tragedy in your life, it's not absolutely necessary. You can have a snap of you can have an highlight of your being in other ways than tragedy, but often most of us it's tragedy, and that makes you go back within yourself and think and reorganize your life. And like I was forced to, sometimes you have to be forced to change, because if not, your brain is not going to bring you to that thing here, that muscle up there doesn't want you to change. Forget about it. The only thing that this does on its own, it's taking care of all the organs inside and everything and reproducing. So reproducing, you're gonna do it without even thinking about it. That comes naturally. But the rest, you really need a big work on yourself. And today, I'm not saying I'm better than anyone else. It's just I have dropped some fears and insecurities to finally access within the world within myself. And I think I've never really done that. And it's very promising. For the vibe is good. Like I feel better than with life, and better with my being, and better with pain and everything. Like everything, you manage everything more easily in your life. Like everything comes to you more in synchronicity, or like arranged with great force. I don't know, me. I feel very, very. But not that I've changed a lot. Like I always had a big mouth, always had the like energetic, and anybody that see me here. But it's just the thinking process that changed. What what changes your thoughts? Like you don't see limitation as something that can stop you so much. Like you go over obstacles, and that's the great part. That's what I say here. Listen to your inner honest voice. There is a voice inside each and every one of us. There is a voice, an honest voice of truth. Everyone has it, not just me or Midas or anyone. So don't fight with yourself or try to deny your responsibility. That will only drive your subcurrent mind the wrong way. Learn to own your being, to work in, then out. When you notice that you're drifting away from positivity, look beyond those unseen prison bars to find the root cause. Then keep moving forward towards a joyful life. When you feel positive, not notice what's working for you, then keep going. When you feel positive, notice it and keep going that direction. That's because it's a great way for you to go, probably. Right, Rasmidas?
Yes, it's called when you reach the turning point in your life. When you reach that point in which your inner power is speaking to you, saying, take a look on the brighter side, where the spiritual sun is shining, so you can see on both sides. And it's up to the individual to make their own choice, because everything comes down to choice. What choice are you going to take? What road are you going to tread? Now that you have seen the two roads before you, it is up to you to make your choice. And when you make that choice, you are responsible for your own doings. And our brain is nothing more than a computer that store memories and hidden things that we have hidden here for years. And whenever we're ready, we can replay it over within ourselves to see where I am coming from. Now that I have reached the crossroad of decision, what decision do I want to make? And it's up to the individual to make that decision, whether you want it to be positive or you want it to be negative. And that's where it all begins, or or you go back to where you are. Are you full? Are you satisfied with your life you're living?
But often that's the step that's the hardest, is to start. Like, it's not for me. That was the start. After that, you just go on with you pick up momentum. The more you do it, the more momentum you have. And like I was saying the other day here at the beginning, my voice was shaking. I was so insecure, and you might not see it, you might not perceive it, but I know it. I know it deep inside that I was insecure because I was like facing today. It's nothing. Today I do it with my eyes closed, but look, it's 279 plus 4,000 video on the other channel. So the more you do it, the more momentum you get, and the more you feel with yourself also and with others. And you don't go out with your big ego at one point. Like, you just realize you're a being like anyone else. I'm not. Yeah, but if we are honest, we can easily affirm that total clarity in our realm is as rare as common sense. Like, okay, total clarity, it's like common sense. It's not common practice. So most beings here on Earth are very much delusional and stuck in illusion of knowing. And but that's like, I don't know how many. Look, if I go take walks or just go for and meet and encounter another being that is uh, trying to reach an alignment, because I'm trying to reach an alignment. I'm not aligned yet. That far from that. I'm just starting here. I'm still, but I think I moved out of the baby state. Like, this is the biggest part also for anyone that wants to reach like a higher state of currency, is let the baby state, let go of the toys and the blaming and the take responsibility for your life. A baby doesn't have responsibility, right? You cannot ask a baby to take responsibility. So that's why some beings here on Earth have decided to take responsibility for certain things, and they have created the court and the police and the army and the, these beings for me have, okay, they might not be the, I'm not preaching like that kind of system, but in the state that we are right now, kind of glad the police is there sometime. I'm telling you, especially if I have a tragedy happening to me, or like, we have created stuff that is necessary. I don't think anything is there for no reason in our society. So yeah, what do you think, Rasmidas?
Well, everything serves its purpose.
Yeah,
The police serve its purpose because without the police, mankind would be in a tragedy because the animalistic part of him will be free to excel,
exactly.
and then you become lower. That's why it say you can become lower than the animals. Is your animal instinct within yourself. So some people need the police to keep them at certain level in themselves before they explore or explode. You know? So everything is like the wheat and the tears have to grow together until the day of harvest. Because there is so many people in this world do not have the understanding who they are, what they should do, where they are going. They into that animalistic state of mind, into that childish program, into that cowboy mentality, the movie mentality. Because most people adapt a lot of things from the movies. Because when you see a movie, it's playing out human action, you know? And some people adapt that action. So when people don't want to make change, let that person say this. Everyone know what they are doing, whether it's positive or it's negative. And if they don't want change, it's because they are satisfied or satisfied with what they are doing. Because there comes a time in each and you was telling me that you have pain. Is that part of your body is letting you know that something is not right with that area. So just like how you can get pain to signal about your body, it's just the said way human being get signal from them mentality or their mental state of mind to let them know, say things is not positive with you. It's time for you to slow down and take a stop and look into it. And when you look into it, it's up to you to know what direction or what direction you want to proceed.
Yeah, it's that serenity part a bit, like finding that serenity. For me, is finding serenity. It's like finding balance, if you want to use the word, but I don't like to use the word ball ants, hence why we're dancing on a ball like fool, because we're looking for ball ants.
It's
So
finding the
balance,
scale. It is finding the scale. Is your conscience.
yeah,
The
the
scale
scale,
is your
or
conscience.
it's just the word
You,
balance.
you have to learn to let your conscience set you free. So when they talk about the balance within man, is your conscience. Is the conscience within yourself? Can you let your conscience set you free? Is the scale within within yourself.
Because I think sometimes you can be either overly pessimist, Like some beings are very, very pessimistic, and or too optimistic. So you got to be careful with that stuff. Also, if you're overly pessimistic, thoughts can cause depressive feelings, boredom, anger, hostility, jealousy, envy, spite, or feeling lonely, for naming a few. And on the other end, if you're too optimistic, it can lead to self-boasting, reckless risk-taking, arrogance. It's very important. Yeah, like you said, the scale.
Is what you're optimistic about.
Yeah,
If you're optimistic that you rediscover yourself and you're learning about yourself and who you want to be, and you're growing mentally and spiritually and consciously, then you're feeling positive about yourself, you know, and you would like to share the good news, what you discover, and saying to John or Mary, saying, I have discovered some things about myself. I don't know if this is real, but I feel confident that it's working. Can you take a look into yourself too and see if you discover the said thing? You're not forcing them to do it, but you feel optimistic within yourself that you rediscover yourself, your real self, and you're trying to wash away the outside influence that take hold of your mind and your brain from ever since you was a child. Because it's not easy to escape the swamp of Babylon. It's a learning curve how to get out of the swamp.
there's so many temptations and things to keep you away from who you really are. And yeah, it's not easy.
Well, that's how they control you. It's a mechanism out of mind control and body control. See, as long as they can control you, everything is in order for them who is in control. But when you recognize within yourself that you want to be free, then there's a struggle with the system when you tell them, I want to be free because this is not working for me. Then they start to criticize you. They start to say all manner of things about you. Your friends them withdrew from you because, oh, Tru-Mon is not moving the way we used to move, because they recognize that you is not part of the clan anymore. So when you're not part of the clan, it trouble a lot of people.
Yeah, and you were talking about the system and the, you know, I think one major thing that is preventing us, and as an adult today, that's what I've been living, and a lot. It's the debt. It's the debt part. Like en français, we say for when you owe money, you have a debt. You have a debt. DETTE, debt.
Debt.
But also debt in English is DEATH. It's you're dead. You're dead. Debt. Debt. So, you know, that's very important to control the beings of Earth, is for them to live in debt so that they constantly owe money, because when you owe money, that's all you think about. If you have bills to pay, that's all you're gonna think about. That's what I think about. If I'm late on my bill, it comes in my mind, and that's all I think. So they control what you think, they're gonna control what you do. So liberate yourself from those chains and cages and debt and stuff like that, like mortgage, age, debt, age. Like it says that in the word. Like all these stuff are there to create worries, and then that's all you come to think about is your debt. So me, for sure, like credit cards and like you have, but it took me a while to learn that. I had to have at least one bankruptcy to learn how to manage my money, because I've always been like a bit not bad with money, but like I've never really bought the nonsense around the money, so I just burn in my hand. So but I've learned over time, and like at 46 today, in their age, stupid age, Babylonian age, I can say that I'm a bit better than before, but it's still a struggle. And that's why putting more chains on me, like credit cards and mortgage and all kinds of stuff that I would prevent me from thinking straight and thinking about what really matters. That's what's happened. It's that debt. I think the constant debt state that we're in because we owe money to the bank or to the credit cards or to your friends or to like yeah.
Well, money is one of the biggest tool that the system used to control people because people believe that dollars and cents and pounds is money. Those things is not money. It's just a promissory note from the value of the economy, you know, to give you authority to purchase. But the system control the money, and the money is resources, whether it's oil, whether it's gas, food, gold and silver, and all the different minerals of the earth. That is the real money. Because if you go to the stock market, people is not exchanging piece of paper and some kinds, you know. You understand me? They are trading resources. Is resources they trade. So when you and I have a little paper dollars with some dead people photograph on it, they are giving you the privilege to purchase goods.
And even us are traded as resources. The PIB, the produit intérieur brut, I think it is directly related to the beings of the country. Like how many, like you are quoted, you have a number at the stock market. Apparently, they sell your birth certificate, the big thing around that. But you apparently, yeah, I have some kind of value in the stock market. Tru-Mon must have my name in the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Is and the next thing, the system use the promissory note to track your levity and your well-being. That's how they know who you are because if you have certain amount of money, remember the limit how much promissory note you can have at your home. Where I'm living, you don't allow $10,000. If they catch you with more than $10,000 in your position, you can go to prison, you can go to jail. They want to know that it into the bank because the banks is part of the system and is the part of the tracking part of the system to know how you obtain money, where you spend money, and different part of the world you spend it and so forth. So people don't realize money, they're not going to give you no privilege to have money. If you have certain resources, the government or some wealthy person who is part of the government is going to come and tell you, well, this belongs to the country and you shouldn't have it in your possession. So we're going to give you a certain amount of promissory note to let me or the government take control of it. Because the resources is for the government, is the benefit of the people.
Yeah.
So when people hear about stock market, it have nothing to do with the common people. It have to do with the multinational corporation and the government of this world who exchange, who is a gambling, is a casino. You know, the stock market is the greatest casino in the world in which wealthy people and government use it to gamble each and every day because that is the joy of the rich guy games or the government game in this polluted swamp that we live in.
Yeah, it's not my reality. Will never be. I'm not very much a gambler, but yeah, that brings us probably to the uh, Next part of the key 17 is the tolerance part. Becoming, I think, when you have cognized your being in to a higher state of mind or something like that, you come to be a lot more tolerant towards other beings. Not that you accept the BS very easily, and like I, so for sure, I don't take BS for an answer or stuff like that. I don't buy into BS and stuff, but I'm more tolerant. Like I'm more tolerant because I know, first of all, that I don't know, and I know that other beings don't know, and they just pretend to know shit. So but when they don't know shit, they don't even know how to behave here. So you become more tolerant. Was that your opinion also?
Yes, it lead to what you want to tolerate. If you come to the conclusion that I cannot tolerate the belief system anymore, then you have to get in yourself and learn how to know what to know. And when you know, that is the greatest thing within yourself, because knowing is not believing. Knowing is recognizing the reality that life have to offer within ourselves and outside of ourselves. I can recognize other human beings because I don't allow their belief to come into my psyche to transform my or to stay where they want me to be, because I am independent and free enough within myself to know or to recognize the facts of life.
Exactly. But that's not too many beings you're going to encounter on Earth like that. So when you see someone that is in that state, that right state of being, I say keep
It's
a good,
simple.
yeah,
It's simple, by the fruit you shall know them.
exactly. Exactly. So here I say we should be honest with ourselves to admit that we are to have full responsibility to our eternal charge. I use ether a lot in the book, like the ether, to because I don't like the word nature so much. Nature, torture, picture, all those chur refer in etymology to something dark. So, yeah. So I the eternal charge or the quintessence, like quintessence. I like a lot for every area of your life. With willpower, we may be apt to adjust what isn't put in proper order if we up to empower our aptitude to do what's ethical. But that's very important, to do what's ethical, not what you think is right, but what's ethical, what's common.
What you know is right.
Yeah. What you know is right, not what you think is right.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, very different, eh?
Yes, yes. What you know is what you know. What, yet, yes, you see, seeing is knowing,
Okay.
and knowing is seeing and recognizing that it is the fact. You know, because when you see the tree, you know it's the tree. No one cannot come and tell you say it's a piece of concrete, because the concrete have no life, but the tree have life. And the tree is part of us, and I is part of the tree.
But there is some beings here that are so programmed and so uh, indoctrinated, okay, that I have showed them the sun. I think it's very obvious that it moves in the sky. Like I look at it, I see it move. And I have presented that to some other beings, but they still cannot cognize the fact or recognize the fact that it moves in the sky. They don't see it. So even your program mind sometimes will not even want to see perceive what's the truth. Like it's totally agree with you. What you see is it's what's true. But sometimes you don't even want to see it. So because if not, everyone would look at the sun like I've seen the sun all my life. Why didn't I look at it and start seeing it was moving in the sky? No, I was accepting that it was not without even looking at it. Because if I would have done that, look at it at 20, 25, 30 years old, whatever, I would have seen the same thing. But I wasn't even looking. Like, I was told the story about the sun, even the stars. The other night, I had someone here, and I said, "We're gonna." I said, "Have you ever seen the stars at night in the sky? Really see with your eyes?" He said, "No." He said, "They are suns." There's people I've heard that they were suns million miles away and stuff. Blah blah blah. Blah, the story of Babylon. So I said, "Okay, we're gonna take out the telescope and we're gonna look at them." But even after presenting him with the evidence, they refute the evidence. He says, "Oh," he said that it's the way your telescope. They invent things to deny the truth. So I think it has to do. I don't know what's going on in the human mind. I think we're really debilitated or to see the truth, and it's a. I don't know. I don't. Me, I seen it. Me, the moment me, it started with that flat earth thing. At one point, I ended up on those flat earth videos on YouTube, and to me, it was instantly. I was looking for a big lie. I know they were liars and deceivers. And I was looking for a big lie on YouTube or something. I was looking at videos, the moon landing, all that stuff. Like, this is common sense, that is bullshit. But the earth, like, you seen pictures, like some kind of picture or stuff. You've been programmed to live on a ball and believe it's a ball. So when I seen that, it was instantaneous for me. Like, I knew there was something huge they were lying about, and something that we weren't even able to open our eyes and see. Like, it's more than an eye opener, it's a mental work inside, because I've seen the sun all my life. Like I said, I've seen it. Come on, lying on the beach, whatever you do, and you don't even question, is it moving or like nothing, nada, nothing, like we're completely walking dead, I think, or something like that.
Well, is because people are programmed not to look into what or to rebel against what they teach, right? Because put it this way, they say that the earth rotates around the sun, right? And I ask people all the while, so if the earth rotates around the sun, don't sometime the North Pole will be in the east, or sometime America would be in Africa, and Canada in New Zealand, or whatever it be. Sometime Europe would be in Asia, because you say it's rotating. Anything is rotating, is moving around. Okay? Now, whenever I and other people having a conversation about that, you know what they say to me? Oh, Midas, you sound like an intelligent man. Why would you say a thing like that? Because I say I am looking into the reality of what they teach. I may be wrong, but I am looking into what they teach, and I'm showing you what I have discovered for my own self, whether you want to recognize it or not. Because plenty of people that listening to this program today will believe that we are speaking stupidness as can to them. But all we are saying, we are questioning the theory and the imagination and the information that you have taught in us all through these years. And so we take a time to stop and question what you are saying to us. Because listen, when people see stars, is just sparks of the what they call it. Mm, when the word come to me, I will suggest it. But is the magnetic field, the spark of the magnetic fields in the cosmos. It's like, this firecracker that you have. You light one, and then it spark from the sulfur, and it twinkle for a while or whatsoever. It's billions upon trillions of those sparks, because it have to spark. The said one that you see tonight is not the said one you're going to see tomorrow night, because each one burn out so quick, and you have the replacement of each other. Is the life magnet force of the cosmos. Listen, Babylon know that. They know, but they cannot let you be educated enough, because you will be on their level. And when you're on their level, what the reality of things is, then they know that they don't have any control over you again. So them have to keep on puffing the illusion in you. You ever see when NASA take picture of the earth, everything look like powder from burning wood? it always have a powderish color from burning wood. It not showing you the natural clay or the natural loam or the natural sand. It always showing you a color cloudish, like when you burn some wood and the ashes from the wood. And people jumping up like them jumping up on balloon or here bed. Nobody is solid. And it's like I hear one of my grandchildren the other day said that the moon is a rock. I didn't say anything. I just said to my mind, young lady, one of these days you're going to grow up and recognize that's what they're teaching you is illusion, telling you that the moon is a rock.
No, they teach a lot of illusion for sure. But I think until you're willing to break the illusion of your own being, of living that lie, you will keep believing in their nonsense, and that's okay. Me, I don't. Doesn't that any one of you in the chat? I see you talking like we live on the globe and this and that. Me, it doesn't change anything in my life that you keep believing their nonsense. It's not my head, it's your head. What I'm telling you is that use scrutiny and question everything you've been told from the beginning, because it's a bunch of lies, often mixed with a great illusion. Just to, and you know who are the best magician is the hide things in plain sight. That's the best magician in the world, the best magician in Vegas, the best everywhere. The black magician of Babyland, they hide things in plain sight. So open your eyes and question. It's very easy. Just the sign, the symbols, the colors, all this will lead you to a greater perspective on life. And if you're, like I say, if you're willing to break the illusion that you live that lie, that you propagate that lie like a evil minion, well, you're never going to break that self-illusion. So don't take it personal if I said something that kind of triggered something in you. Don't take nothing personal. It's just, it's not, the world doesn't revolve around you. No worries about that. So even if you keep believing in their nonsense, other people will also. So you're not going to be lonely, but you're going to feel more lonely when you're on the part of taking in and breathing in and questioning what they told you. Yeah, you're going to feel probably a little bit lonely sometime, because most beings here on earth watches TV and that's their reality. Everything they see on TV is real and true. So that's the bit what's going on. But yeah, if you're honest with yourself, and me, I'm not telling you where we are. I don't know. I don't even know. You want a picture of the earth? I'll get out, take my camera, take a picture, I'll give it to you. That's the picture of the earth. But I don't know what the earth is. I've never seen it. And as long as I rely on a third-party explanation to tell me where I live, I'm gonna be in some kind of lies or illusion, or so I have to see it for myself. And as far as I'm concerned, I see the earth, I'm on earth. But also, if you take a plane, like if you go up, I've taken planes, I've never seen any curves. I went on the sea. Like there's things, common things you can observe to realize that you're not floating in outer space on some kind of ball. Also recognize also that if you're like the ball thing is everywhere. It's in baseball, football, pinball. Everything is played with a ball. All the sports almost is played with a ball. That's coincidence. And then the picture us on the ball, living on a ball. Like there's a lot of it.
The ball.
The cult of Baal.
The globe that they show us in school is a ball.
Yeah, it's the cult
Spinning
of Baal.
around. Spinning around. And the education that you get is to keep you spinning around. Never find the conclusion of reality of yourself. And so when you question it, people think that you're falling off the track.
And Karen says in her comments, she says, I went into flat earth for about a year and I realized I was wrong. I totally agree with you. That's just another reality fed to the masses to give them some kind of sense of ego or stuff of knowing something that they know how the earth is. It's flat. It's like this. I'm not telling you it's flat. To me, it's shapeless. You want to talk about the earth? I always said it from a long time. It's shapeless. I'm not putting any shape. I've never seen it. But that's Babylon. Babylon will feed you illusion. Even, you know what Bob Marley said? Bob Marley said, you think you have found the solution is just another illusion. And that's always going to be like that on earth. You think it's ever going to change because Tru-Mon's on YouTube talking about that stuff? It's not going to change. That's the human beings on earth. They love lies and deception, and that's what they propagate. And as long as we don't see it as a collective, we're gonna swim in the dark and in that cesspool of nonsense. So I'm just saying, just use scrutiny. Flat earth, round earth, triangle earth, put any kind of shape you want on the earth. It's just an illusion. So
Listen,
what you see is what you know. So go outside, take a picture of the earth and enjoy it, because that's the earth.
you see the thing about it, every system that rise up in the on the earth that mankind created, each one of them come with their own illusion, what the earth is, and what the universe is. Everything is just a theory. There's no reality to what they are saying. They just think this is how it goes. Yes, of course, scientists and other people, astrologists or whatever people, study certain things, yes and no. But you look at it. If mankind did know the origin of the universe, right? And know the secret of the universe, probably we wouldn't exist here today talking.
Exactly.
They would find a way to destroy it because they would find a way how they want to control it. You know? If they could control the sunlight, then we will be paying sun rate, how to live. Every month you go to the bank, I have to pay some rate for the sun. If they could control the moon, you will pay a moon rate too. Seeing like how the water down here, they control the water, so you have to pay a water rate.
Yeah, yeah. You got to pay for everything. So we're lucky we still don't pay for sunlight.
Yes.
A sunlight tax.
And you're not paying for the moonlight.
Yeah.
You know? Man go on the ocean and start to map it out, which part on the ocean is territory and all these things. Everything is control. Everything is either physical or mentally controlled. And who's to ever fall into the control system of make believe, these are the people that keeping mankind back. Because as few move forward, they are the one that holding the next foot, say, no, don't go, this is what it is. But you have to discover the truth within yourself and the truth outside of yourself. As I said, when I see a tree, you cannot tell me it is not a tree. When I see the ocean, I know it is the ocean. And you cannot tell me that spirituality is not reality, because reality is spirituality and spirituality is reality.
But like I said, also what I see going on in the chat and everywhere is that also the ego wants to know. The ego wants to know, and if you cannot, like to me, a man or a woman that knows something is someone that knows that they know nothing at all. Like I don't know nothing at all. Don't come here for me to feed you information or this. I know nothing, and I will remain knowing, but I know myself. I know the stuff I seen and stuff, but I don't know that their pseudoscience, like all this. Like to me, it's the science of nature. That's what matters, and I go along with that, and I feel very much relief, a lot more than before. Look, I wasn't on YouTube when I was not thinking straight, when my mind was controlled by other people's thoughts. I wasn't here. But I said, if I before I go onto YouTube and yap my mouth to the world, because I have a big mouth always, I said I have to learn. Now I have to learn. I have to know the truth, because Les Brown was motivating me with motivational video, and he said the truth will set you free. So I had to know what was the lie. I don't think you're gonna know the truth, some other than the truth of your being, or it's more the lie. It's to be cognized with the lies and the deception that's going on this plane. If not, you're gonna have like, it's up to you whether you want to have a free mind, free being, and or you want to be with chains around your mind and chains around your neck, and wonder why they want people to wear chains around their neck. Like, to me, that's not the I see these men sometimes with big gold chain, and like, oh yeah, and that's the idea you have, having chain around. Like, all these are to program the mind also to stay in chain and cages and stuff. But no, free yourself from that oppression of Babylon is very beneficial for your beings, for sure.
Yeah. Whenever you're freeing your mind from the brain control, whenever you're freeing yourself from belief or make belief or the system of believism, people think you are strange. Like you lay down in the sun and you recognize that the sun is moving, people believe you is nuts. You could not say that because I have taught in school that the earth evolve around the sun. So that's why I said, when I asked the question, well, why not America? No, they are different part of the globe then, since I saw you tell me. You know? That is where you say. As for I am not interested in those things. I am just here to live my life to the best of my ability, because I recognize that I am part of the universe and the universe is part of I. So I am not looking to go to no special place. I am not going to no special heaven or special hell. I don't have no savior who dripped his blood on the cross and saved my sin and coming back for I one day. You know, I,
And
I, I don't accept the belief in those things. I accept what I see and know. I really know that I am part of the creative or the creation process of the universe, because I have the creative in aspect in I. That's why I know that I can reproduce myself through certain divine love that is created within I, like any other living things on the planet Earth. So you don't I don't need no one to come tell me what they believe, because if you don't know, don't tell I. Because I'm not going to join you in your system of superstitious or your information. of what you don't know. You know what I mean?
Oh, sometimes you can hear them. It's a real verbal diarrhea. What you hear, but no, I think it's just common sense after all to question things in life. But I never really done it, so I don't blame anyone if they just prefer to accept thoughts of other people. And also, then, like we're so delusional that we go out on YouTube, we talk about things like that, flat earth, and we think that the government is going to do something like it's the big thing. It's just that's what they want you to do. They want you to talk about stuff like that, about illusion, about nonsense, so you feed the masses. You are operating for, like, they don't even need to do mind control and stuff. They control what you think. So if you adopt those kind of belief and views of that you see on YouTube a bit everywhere, that's why at one point I stopped talking and making videos about flat earth, because I realized that's what they wanted me to do. Like, that's the end goal, is you to talk about it. So at one point I just stopped energizing it, and I went more on the shapeless side than any form of that's it. The earth is the earth is that's it. But anyway, it's just the way I see it. And like, it's not in one talk like this that I'm gonna change your mind on your mindset on what the earth is and everything you have believed all your life. So it's up to you to do the introspection within yourself and find the truth within yourself. First of all, open your eyes and cognize with what's going on, and the quintessence vibes and everything, and the trees, and look at, observe, and then you're gonna realize that everything makes sense, that it's all nonsense. It's just to fill your head with crap and to make you think things that are not really in accordance with reality. And then it's your whole life that's going to suffer, and they will be very, very happy because that's what they want us to talk about, nonsense. And that's what we're doing all together on YouTube in unison. So wake up, wake up, wake up.
You see, the universe is height and depth,
Yeah.
latitude and longitude, breadth and width. What more do you want? You know, if you're going to the ocean, is height and depth, and dry land is mountains and valleys and hills. What more do you want? You see the truth and the reality before you, and you run into a guy who write a book, who get paid from his imagination or illusion of his mind.
Like a good example, there's Karen in the chat, and don't take nothing personal, Karen. I'm not judging you or anything. I'm not like that. But I see you keep arguing for facts that you believe, but it's okay. You can keep doing it. I'm not going to stop anyone in the chat. Do what you want. Do what your heart feels like. But it's just like things you cannot really verify in reality. So I would be very careful with advancing any kind of, and first of all, it all comes from other people. I read the stuff and it's things that mostly you can observe on your own, that it's not true, and that it doesn't.
You know facts. Fact is something you know.
There's difference between facts and belief. Like
Yes,
a
belief
fact.
is what you don't know. What is something that you hear and there's no proof to it. As you're saying, I'm not saying that she's wrong,
No,
because she have freedom of choice to choose what she want to put into her psyche. But all I'm saying, fact is something that you know. Belief is something that you don't know.
but also,
It's what you hear or what you heard. Is it the imagination of illusion that people teach within the systematic range that people observe in their psyche through education?
yeah. No, that's it. I knew I was like, if I was willing to discard everything that I have learned. But if you don't want to drop everything you have learned, you're never gonna go forward in life with that kind of reality touching topic stuff. I think it's just you have drop everything you have learned and start from the beginning. Like same thing for Karen. Karen, I suggest why don't you stop believing all their nonsense, their stuff that you think it's sense, but for me it's all rubbish a bit. And the globe or the flat or anything, drop everything, every concept you have from coming from another man or woman, and start from there and see how much you grow and how much you're gonna grow and how much faster you can grow. Also, that's the thing. Other than just adopting other people's views or thoughts, or we are taught things in school. It's because they want it stuck in our thought. That's
Mm-hmm.
why you are taught in school. They want that to be your thought. Not saying it's all BS in school, not what I'm saying, but when it comes to pseudoscience and things I cannot verify on my own, it's like, whoa, maybe I should let go. And that, to me, it took me 40 years and a tragedy. I had to break my leg in half. I had to have a freaking blood clot in the leg, almost lose my leg in the hospital. I had a ballon football on my knee, and that made me realize that life was worth living and to open my eyes to life and to maybe seek for truth within me, and then seeking the truth within me and bringing my true being here on YouTube was gonna attract me to more truth outside of myself. And yeah, I found certain stuff, but you don't have to all have the same root and same. I think it's just each and every one their path, and I respect that. And yeah,
Yeah. Well, you see, it's to when you recognize the truth within yourself, then you know the truth outside of yourself. You understand?
I don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. For example, that's the same thing. Yeah, someone
Yeah.
says that in the chat.
It, it's like the teacher simple lies at school.
Yeah,
Look at this simple one. Teacher teach that 7 days make a week, right? 7 days make a week, and 4 weeks make a month, right?
yeah.
The 7 4s supposed to be 28. And when you question say, well, if 7 days make a week and 4 weeks make a month, or you coming to tell me that 31 days and 30 days and 29 and 28 and one leap and all those things, or that mathematics don't come to some reality. You understand me? When they teach me that 24 hours make one day, and I ask them, say, if night is day too, nobody can answer me, right? Because day is supposed to be different from night. You understand me? And when they ask me my age, and I double it and say, well, I am certain this amount of age in day and certain amount in night, and put the two of them together, people look at me strange because me questioning what they have taught me, and I am looking into it, and I am rebelling and say, hey, you tell me that 7 days make one week and 4 weeks make a month, and if I multiply it and say 7 4s is 28, why you coming to tell me about 30 now and 31 and 29 and 20 and 29 and one leap every 4 years? And don't you see that the mathematics there is wrong? Everybody know the mathematics is wrong, but you know what happened? Most everyone is willing to just accept it for what it is, because that is what working.
Because again, the math about our life doesn't add up. So the math outside of ourselves don't add up either, but we don't see it because we live it. That's
That's
what I
it.
think.
That's it. You
Yeah,
recognize that the math inside of you is not working. So when you look out at what they teach, it's not working. And you mustn't question it.
yeah.
You understand? You mustn't question it. And
Same.
if you read through history, every system that come up, or every empire, every part or whatever, change things to suit their times. You know?
And as long as your math don't add up, you're not gonna look at truth and the reality of your being and what you came to do and the work you should leave behind and the like all that stuff that the other beings you have to uplift because we are here to uplift each other. Like your energy is contagious. Like, when I see a being energetic and stuff, it's contagious. Like you want to have their energy, you say, "Oh, I would like to have his energy and stuff," and you're like, yeah, energy is what we have. It's what we should give to the well, our energy, and not uh, energize constantly just
Yeah.
nonsense. And
Yes.
yeah, so
Because
like, like,
up to now,
go
up to
ahead.
now,
Yeah, yeah.
this is the younger part of the universe that grass grow, right? The wind blow. There is a ocean and rivers and different things that live on this part of the universe. Up to now, mankind is searching for a next universe, and that universe don't exist. It's only in his mind. And a man is going to write in a book and tell me, so well then, it's out of the ocean may evolve from. And I have to accept that. And when I question it, they wondering if I'm strange. So I mustn't question anything. I must just dilute everything in my psyche. No, I am not that kind of person. I question things. And when you question things, you discover that most things that they teach you have a hole in the bucket. It's leaking. And people is wetting up under that leaking and they don't recognize that they are wet. They are telling you so they are still dry.
Dry and ungrateful, because if we would be grateful, we would recognize what we have on our end. It's called internet. Bonjour tout le monde. We no, sérieusement, because if we would be serious and grateful, we would use what we have on our hand. I'm born in 1973. When I was a teenager, I used to go around with a Walkman. There was no internet. Imagine. So today I am very grateful that internet is there and I can bring my voice on the internet and just like bring a good vibe. Like I don't come here to tell you anything. You're not gonna learn anything here today. No? You have to learn often by yourself and things in life. But we can inspire. We can make you see things have a different perspective. Maybe it's gonna help you reach a different perspective in life. And yeah, but yeah, I think it's very enriching for anyone to drop that nonsense. Like we said.
Yes, yes. Listen, I love Sister Karine and who she is, and she's participating in what we are saying. We are not trying to take her away from her belief. All I and I is saying that the belief that they have taught us, we have to transform ourselves from the belief so that we can recognize the truth and the fact and the reality, and to live our spirituality, to awake our mental stage that we are in, so we can be the being that we want to be. Different people have different road to reach there. I am not saying that a person must accept my road that I am treading to reach there. But when things do not add up, we have to be truthful to say, hey, what you're saying is not adding up because I passed that road before.
And often we're gonna fight war that total nonsense because no one's gonna win. Then, like I see you in the chat saying, "Oh, we have to fight the globe earth, fight the flat earth, or something like." I'm like, why fight anything? Like we said that the last time, I'm not worried about the Babylonian. They're destroying themselves. They're taking care of themselves. They're destroying themselves. So I don't come here to fight or to promote any fight on anything, especially when it comes to observing reality or facts. Like there's no fight there, so I don't. I think we're a bit out of range with the fighting stuff, like. Freedom fighters, like what's that idea of free? Why fight anything? Evil people, they're destroying themselves. No worries about that.
Yes, yes. Evil always destroy evil.
Yeah,
And the worst thing, evil will always be here. It is always going to be here. And positiveness is always going to be here. It's to give mankind a choice. Two roads before you, make your choice. If you want to destroy yourself, it is up to you. And if you want to keep on moving and flowing within life cycle, is up to ourselves. Because here what happened? You have the tree of good and evil, and you have the tree of positivity. You have the tree of love, the tree of spirituality, and the tree of reality. So it's up to I and I, you know, to make our own choices. And belief is always going to be here. And what you see and know is always going to be here. So some will believe and some will know. So who want to know will know, and who want to believe will continue to believe. And that's a unique world that we created as human beings. All I am saying, the belief system don't work positive for I. So I have to transform myself from it to deal with fact and reality.
yeah, exact. That's what I say here. Next on coherency, just to because we're talking about admitting truth in your life. I say as you strive to admit truth in your life, you must grow to a high degree of coherency. Now we're not talking about Babylonian minions teachings. That's far from that. Never mind the we're gonna drop a bit like Globert flat Earth. I'm not into this anymore anyway. I like I say, I don't know really much where I am, and I don't think I will ever know. Even like I have other things to focus on, to scope on than the shape of the earth.
You can't deal with the flat, man. You have to move to higher ground,
Oh yeah,
man.
yeah. What's flat? The Earth is flat. It's flattening in energy. That's how flat it is. That's the flatness of the Earth. But like for referring
Yeah.
to a shape or anything,
I have to move to higher ground.
I have to move to higher energy. So I left the flattening energy of the Earth. Yeah. Okay.
uh,
So
uh,
that includes so a high degree of coherency, which includes I don't use which, I say that includes becoming coherent of your strength, inner guidance, quintessence, breath, you're breathing. So yeah, weaknesses, talents, gnosis, speech, biases, insecurities, wants, like hobbies, feeling triggers, reflective response, habits with your state of mind. So it's big. Being a coherent being on earth is huge. And I might have crossed a few here on YouTube that are looks coherent, and especially you, Midas, and PT also, Prashant Trivedi from India. Yeah, I've learned a lot from Arthur in Australia, Jabba, everyone that came here to teach me their perspective of life. I enlarged mine. So that's why I did that Tru-Mon show, because I wanted to enlarge my perspective. Because I started with Motivation Academy only. Then I met Ivar, that guy from Toronto. What's his name? Monsieur Ipson. Anyway,
Brown.
yeah. So we came together, and I said I have to enlarge the perspective, and I knew it was with other beings that I was going to enlarge my perspective, and I kept doing it. But yeah, that's all part of gaining strength and inner guidance, and I think we all have that inner compass inside of us. It should be a really an activation to reach some kind of direction in our life. But yeah, but we're filled with a variety of struggles. This is the thing, the struggles. The one part of us wants to be at ease, joyous, with a high clarity, and another part wants nothing else than to gluttonize food, sleep, have sex, plus be lazy. So how do we say no to that to be a really high coherent being? Because this is like the appetite for destruction is there even in me. And we are programmed to destroy, to self-destroy. That's
True.
that for everyone. And I don't know any beings on earth yet. I haven't met anyone that has overcome that self-destruction programming that were it's that's why when Midas says good thing we don't know about certain stuff and how it functions because we would want to destroy it. So like we are ourselves on self-destruction. Look at it individual and look at the country where they live. Like it's even bigger when you talk about the masses than so imagine the self-destruction that is happening within the collective, like how strong it is, the self-destruction of the earth, because we are ourselves on. So that's part of the coherency. So Rasmidas extend on it. I'll take a breath during that time.
Yes, one of the greatest thing is when you can transform yourself from education and learn to educate yourself. Because when you educate yourself is to find out and to discover the fact of life. And there is nowhere else in the universe I want to be than on this part of the planet because the planet is just part of the universe. And I'm happy to be here because why I'm here is because I have a reason to be here. And when you are a child, you do childish things. But when you are mature and discover who you are as a living being, you start to make the necessary changes within yourself to be the person you're supposed to be. Because if we were educated to be the person we're supposed to be, we wouldn't have been struggling to find ourselves. And what they have done through education is to manipulate our mind to look for things that don't exist. Sorry. And when we discover the things that exist, which is real, our brothers and sisters have problem with it. Because all I can say, there is two sides of a coin. There is a bright side and there is a dark side. There's a positive side and there's a negative side. And so sometimes we're going to reach the turning point in our life when we start to take a look on the bright side of life, where the sun is shining, where you can see all that is taking place within yourself, and to ask yourself the question, is the person I want to be, or if I want to make a change. And whosoever don't want to make a change, I am not against them. And whosoever want to make changes, I am not against them either. Because I remember that is written about the farmer who sow seeds. Some were sown on stones, and some were sown on fertile soil. The seed that is planted and sown on fertile soil will grow fertile. And the one that is on the stone, the rocks and insect will find it and eat it up. And I am not going to allow the systematic rats and ants and insect to heat up my positivity no more. That's why I am trying to walk on the brighter side of life so I can see my seed grow on the fertile soil.
Yeah, totally agree. It's for that's what you fertility. When you are fertile, also means you can reproduce, right?
Yes,
What they say. So you
yes,
are
but
fertile.
yes,
That's it.
but when the mice and the rats and all those kind of things in the system heat you up, you're not reproducing. You're gone to turn to you become waste matter.
Yeah.
You understand? They allow you to make your mind become waste matter. And I reached the stage in my life, as I said, I am looking on the brighter side, where the sun is shining, where the light of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is bright, so I can see what is going on. So I am transforming myself from the darker side, which is the negative side, which is the side of make believe, and into the light of reality, so I can be on the soil, the fertile soil of productivity.
I saw.
Because when you become a productive person, is when you know yourself, is when your conscience set you free, is when your spirituality reach a higher heights, is when the computer in your mind or your vitality is consuming positive entity to let you keep on existing.
But what's happening also, I've said that before, my issue is not children afraid of the dark. It's adult on this plane of existence that are afraid of the light. That's the big thing. Like, we're adults, but we're all afraid of the light. We don't want to see the light and live in the light and live in the bright side. And we prefer being on self-destruction and in the dark side. And that's why they picture you a dark side of the moon and this. And like, it's super to program. But yeah, and to stay on the bright side is much more rewarding. And again, a reword, because that's probably what's gonna happen. You're gonna find new words, and all this is gonna be very profitable for your being. Of course, when your coherency is clear, that's what I say. When your coherency is clear, because we need clarity. That's what we need. You are near your beauty within. The truth is the beauty within you. That's the truth. And the beauty within you will bring you to discover the beauty without, in other beings and in animals and everything that surrounds you. So that sense of feeling, that sense of coherency also is not is being willing to admit that you know nothing. But if you cannot admit you know nothing and your ego is still in charge and think you know something in this world, I can do nothing. You have to drop all beliefs and all sense of false knowing and third party explanation. Oh, if not, you will never be free, totally free, because your mind is not free. I'm telling you. I'm not telling you what reality is. I'm telling you, you have to see it. You have to open your eyes to see it. I see it myself. Rasmidas sees it. And again, we might not agree on everything together, but
Yes.
we are capable to exchange and to meet, to mix that together and come to yeah, we both can agree that there is, if we cannot agree together that there is lies and deception in this world, I can even have a chat with you, because you think the world is real, you think this world is real and functions on the real stuff. So go ahead, think it. It's not my case. So I've let go of like fighting with beings that think that they know something, and like that's why no, you don't see me so much energizing the Babylon stuff anymore, and I focus. Put the scope more on things that really matters, like leaving that book behind with the other stuff that I'm gonna do along my life. Like, it's not the only thing I'm gonna be, but being productive also, like you said, being productive is very important, because you will let go of the things that doesn't really matter, like fighting all these things on YouTube, the flat earth, globe earth, or whatever kind of real. Like, you will not energize that. You will realize that also you cannot waste your time in front of a TV no more. Like, all these things will come to you very, very clear. But if it's not clear yet, I mean, you still have more work to do on yourself. But once all this becomes clear that the TV is not really uplifting, and once you recognize what doesn't support your journey to feeling free here on earth, you're gonna get there. But if you don't recognize it, if you do recognize it, you're gonna get there. But if you don't, like, you're gonna stay stuck at point A. So my uh, thing that I would like for everyone is to get unstuck at that point A and start evolving and looking at life on the bright side, and get out your baby state and admit you know nothing. It's not the end of the world. I've said it how many times here. I live my life like an idiot. I've said it days after shows that's what happened. Like, I knew it. I was very much in illusion of knowing and this and that. But I know it. That's the difference. Now I can undo it, because once you come to know it, to cognize the fact that you are living the illusion, you are living that lie, you are like, I would not say everything I have on my mind now, because I've said it before, but yeah, it's just pure nonsense to me today to energize that any fights, any to make anyone see what I see. Just that. Just trying to fight the fact to make anyone see what is it gonna do. Like, it's what's gonna content my ego. Like, I have no more ego almost. So I come here very freely, and yeah, it's I strive for bringing the best of myself each and every time. But I'm just like been reborn. So I always say be patient, and yeah, I will find a way to express myself all the time for sure.
Well, as I said, your conscience will set you free.
Exactly.
And to every human being in this world that caught up in the illusion of belief, they know that they are not honest to themselves. They know that they are not honest to themselves, but they just cannot let go of the darker side of the coin. They just cannot let go because it attracts them. It's fascination. You know, it's so fascinate over that darker side, because on the brighter side of life, it's going to reveal to them who they really is. And some people cannot face the brighter side of life because the revelation is coming to reveal to you this is what you really is, and how much people in this world can stand up to what they really is.
This is the thing. That's what I was explaining, the true within you, the truth within. Once, I think we all prefer to see the ugly side of us than to see the beauty within. It's clear, because everyone's on auto destruction, self destruction, and just repeat like parrots everything they have heard all their life without thinking. So it's very much to stop being a parrot, stop being a baby, stop being in a baby state, and just admit you know nothing, and start from the beginning before it's too late. Like, at one point your days are going to expire. What kind of experience you want to have here on earth? An experience of free being, or an experience of a enslaved being with chains around their head and neck, and like, it's me, it's just, I don't know, that's my thing that I see for everyone, but not everyone sees it for themselves. This is the thing. It's the hard part to make a being see the greatness within. And we can always see it without, like, often we always encourage other people more than we do for ourselves. But even courage is not a word that I like so much, because you have rage in the neck, like coup, rage. Coup is neck in French, and the rage, and it's the same word, courage is the same English, French. So when I see that, I'm like, why do they keep the same? Yeah, because you have rage in the neck. You're too ragey. You're raging bull. You're mad. The world is mad because the world has courage. We are courageous beings. Yeah, yeah. You know, I don't know. All these words that are made to program you also. I think it starts with the words, the program. That's why they want you to go to school 12 years, right?
Now when you're in school, they teach you about knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
When you come out of school and you start to self-educate yourself, You realize that the world is knowledge. Knowledge. Knowledge is knowledge. It's not knowledge.
I see it also like a ledge to cut you from the now.
You could take off the you could take off the ledge there and just say to know.
Yeah.
To know. But they have to make it confusing for people to believe. They don't want you to know. So when you're tapped into your psyche over the darker side of existence, to say, I don't into this knowledge anymore, man. I just want to know. I just cut it short. And from I know. And the greatest thing is to know. They start to have congregation of different thoughts about you. You know, you're getting off the edge. You're losing something from your brain. Of course, you're losing something from your brain because you're washing out what you don't need.
Exactly.
You understand me? You're washing out what you don't need because now that you are self-educating yourself about the fact, the reality, the spirituality, the love, when you realize that I and I is one with the universe, and no one cannot come and tell me that it is somewhere else. It is within I. I am part of the universe, and the universe is part of I. I am not looking when I jump out of this flesh that my spirit is going into outer spaces somewhere unknown. Because true, I am a reproduction of myself. I know that I will still be here. I am going nowhere.
And like we said before, you were talking about reaching maybe the higher self. It's very important to let go of that wanting to fit in. Like many beings just want to fit in and be like. I have no desire to be like on YouTube or to fit in any freaking groups whatsoever. Like I'm doing my little thing here and there, few hang out. Like I don't want to fit in any. That's why you don't see me on every channel, the flattered channels and stuff, because I don't want to fit in. And I have no desire to fit in. But if your desire is to fit in with your thoughts, though, might not fit in physically, but with your thoughts, and you want to energize that, and you want to be liked by others. Like, I don't give a shit you like me or not here. I'm going to say it as it is. I don't care. You like me or not. I'm not here to be like. I'm here to do what's right and to speak the truth
Yes,
with the best way I know it. So
yes,
you might not like me because exactly there's truth coming out sometime and it's gonna hurt and it's gonna rub you the wrong way and challenge your thoughts and stuff. And so I am aware of that I might not be like, but it's okay. I don't come here for that. So once you have make that clear that you're not here to be like and you don't want to fit in, then you start exactly question more stuff and saying, yeah, but like many beings I see, their only desires to fit in and be like. So they have thoughts like everybody. You think you're different? You're no different. There's 100,000 people, maybe more, thinking the same thing as you think.
on
So
the set wavelength. On
yeah,
the set wavelength. That's why most time people meet me and ask me, oh, Rastafari. I said, no. I am Rastafari. I live Rastafari. I don't join up with a group of people. I said to them, Jah is a concept of I. Because most time people believe say people associate Jah with God. You know? And I am saying to them, no, before the word Jah exists, there was Yah. It was Y-A-H, Yah. And Yah mean the sun that shineth. So I am the son of the sun. See? You know? So listen to me. don't ask Jah what Yah can do for you. Ask what you can do for Yah. Because it's the concept that within yourself. And it's a way of life and you have to live it. See? So people have the religious side of Rasta. Those people named Rasta. I deal with Rasta Farai. And the word Rastafari mean head creator. I am part of the head creator. So I am learning to balance in my consciousness, you know, trying to find myself. Let my conscience set I free from belief.
And only you can do it. I can do it for you. So only us can save you. Only you can save you from yourself, and it's possible. I think it's not just we're not doomed to a life of self-destruction and self-destroy. Like I said, we can do better than that. And the moment we recognize what's going on here and what's going on with our being first, and then you start to what's going on outside. If I'm fucked up like that inside, what's fucked up outside? That's what I said to myself, because that's what Arthur Christian was keeping telling me. He said and that's what he says all the time, I'm deeply fucked up in the system. I realized that I was deeply fucked up too. So at one point, I realized I was believing way too much stuff, and especially like all the stuff you learn on YouTube about anything about reality. Well, to me, it's just I discard it as soon as someone start talking about the fact that they know something about the Earth or the Sun. Or bye bye, I'm gone. Because I know I won't know. I won't know anything until I don't know if I will ever know. And that's not my focus today. That's why I let go of all that stuff, flat earth, round earth, whatever earth you live on. I have other things better to do with my life than just argue with other beings and about nonsense, because it's just another nonsense. So thank you very much, Rest
Very
My
much, my
Death.
brother. I
Eh?
and I know what we have seen, and no one cannot tell I and I that we didn't see it, because they of themselves have seen it too and don't want to recognize it. They end up on the side of believing, you know. So that is a shelter that they can run behind, because when they created war and killing off one another, then they can run to them sheltered or run to their image to say, oh, it's not I do it, or it's not me do it, it's God or the devil do it. But you I know, said there is only I and I and the universe. I am not sheltering myself behind any belief. I am dealing with what I see and know, and they see too, but they are so stubborn because they do not want to change from their belief. Yes.
And the first place where you change, where you start to change, is when what you see with your eyes reflects your thoughts. Your thoughts reflects like what you see. I'm looking at the sun. I'm not telling myself that it's a big ball of fire 93 million miles away and all the nonsense that comes with it. I see the sun. Okay, it's round. Doesn't mean it's a sphere. Not because you see something round that it's a sphere. Like there's a difference between sphere and roundness. So all these things have to be taken in. But to me, I've never really looked at it. But yeah, when something I see, you cannot tell me I don't see it. Like, what is that? Like before, I was seeing it, but I wasn't seeing it properly. Today, I see clear. Like I'm able to use my eyes. And again, I'm not telling you what I'm seeing. You have to open your own eyes to see it. You want to know what I'm seeing? Open your own eyes. And we're all probably going to see the same thing. It's not very different. The sun doesn't change here in Quebec, then it changed in Florida. It's the same sun. So, yeah,
Yes, yes, I can see clearly now.
that's
The
it.
rain
That's what
is
Jimmy
gone.
Cliff.
I
Jimmy
can see
Cliff.
all
Yeah.
obstacles in my way. You know?
Yeah.
Now, not all the dark clouds that used to keep I blind. right?
Every time I listen to that song now, I see it so differently. The first time I re-listened to it, that song from Jimmy, I had a smile that could not stop in my face. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna smile a lot more, especially when you go
Yes.
around and you're gonna be in awe. Like I don't know, I feel it yourself. I can feel it for you.
It's gonna be bright.
It's gonna be
Whenever,
bright.
whenever you don't see that darkness of cloud anymore, it's gonna be bright, bright, each shiny day.
Exactly.
So man can come with his illusion, come tell how much million miles the sun is from the earth. How does he know? And he's the said one said, if you go near the sun, it burn you up. So how him know? Imagination, illusion. So I don't follow those mathematics of illusion.
Even the sun could easily be a projection of the original sun, because if you take, like, if I go to the river, I can see the sun in the water. It's the projection of that light. So that light, because apparently there's kinds of water above or something, like it could easily be just a, so I don't assume that I see the sun. Like it could also be some, like I don't assuming things as you see them often can trick you also, because it could, like, you have to have perspective in life. I think that's what we miss with our life is perspective. We're very boxed life. Like we talk on a box. Now everybody has their phone box. They live in a box. They traveled into a box to a box work, and everything is boxed. So they want you to have boxed in thoughts. So I want to have perspective. So I'm not stopped at the fact that, oh yeah, it's a disco. Like I don't know. I don't want to know an explanation. I don't want nobody to come with an explanation. I want to, with by myself, look at it and make more and more inquiries and question, and then yeah, I'll have a greater perspective on life, and yeah, for sure, on the sun also.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
It,
yeah,
it's a beautiful sight.
yeah.
It is very good for us to be here. And the reasoning is really have a lot of food in it. I call it food for thought. It's food
It's food
for
for,
thought.
yeah.
Yes, food for thought. I am not saying people have to accept what I and I is reason. That's why it's called reasoning.
Yeah.
Reasoning. So give thanks for all the listeners, whether they agree or not agree. We are not forcing no one to agree. I and I is just saying there's a other side of the coin. Please look over there.
there's
Please look over there.
there's something weird with the word agree that I found out, because in English there's the word agree. We all agree that the two E at the end of agree makes E. Okay, so why do we write a liberty with a Y? And all the other E in the English language will come with a Y to make the sound E. When in the word agree, we can all agree that the two E makes a E. So why we don't agree on more stuff? Think about it. I'm leaving you with that. Think and
Yes.
make research. You're gonna see that the only two places, almost, or in Lee, when Bruce Lee, the two E makes a E. Like agree. Like, so in the book I changed all the liberty. I put two E at the end because I have to be true with the sound also. So yeah. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff we could agree on for sure.
For
So
sure.
thanks a lot, Midas, and everyone in the chat. Leslie, bonjour Leslie, toujours un plaisir, la belle Leslie, de te voir au rendez-vous, to see you here with us. Karen, large up Karen. Like I say, Karen, you see things the way you see it, and the world doesn't revolve around you and me. So that's what I have to say. Jane Doe, I respect everyone and their views and belief. And look, I'm not here to cause division, and it will never happen. Never, never. I'm not like that. And no. April, thank you both. Yes, letting go of our knowledge is key. Jane Doe, that's it. I see clearly now, 2020. That's it. Karen and Andy also was in the chat. So large up, everyone. I don't think I miss anyone. Anyway, if I miss, oh, you see, Rose Tinted Manak.
Yes.
Rose Tinted Manak.
And I love each and every one. I love each and every one. And I'm happy that each one can put their ideals. We are putting our ideals, our idea on the table of decision. So we can see clearly now when the rain is evaporated and the dark cloud has passed away, then it's gonna be bright, bright, some shiny day. But we have to make that day bright and shiny within our lives and within ourselves. Give thanks.
Give thanks, everyone. We're out, and we will be here again forward. We're Sunday,
Wednesday.
Sunday today, Wednesday.
Yes.
Wednesday, same time, 1 p.m. We do this rhythm until the 1st of August, no? Or until we're completed our task to review the 33 keys to unlock our full essence. So
Yes.
that's it. Until then, I wish you all the best and nothing but the best, but that's it. And do your best. Don't stress with life. Just do your best and unlock your full essence day after day after day, like I'm still doing it. It's gonna be a work, a lifetime work, but that's the real work, and that's the work on yourself, the work on your being, that you can feel better. Because after all, it's how you feel each and every day that will be affected by how you think. So all this liberating yourself from the nonsense and lies and deception, it's just gonna make you feel a little bit better inside. I'm telling you, it's worth it to try anyway. So yeah, boom, we're out. Large
Boom.
up. See ya Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bye bye.